Hi there, folks. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in and for watching this digital check of the first alert forecast. Kind of a gloomy, cool evening across the metro Atlanta, North Georgia, with temperatures in the 50s and the 60s. Again, it's been a pretty chilly day. You probably noticed that if you've been outside at all today, noticing the cool air and the feel of the cool air and the clouds and all of that good stuff today. Kind of a change of pace from yesterday, where we had the clouds, we had the gloom, but we really didn't have that much rain today. But that is going to be changing here pretty quickly as we get into the next maybe 12 hours or so. Already we're tracking a little bit of rain on radar, and as we go into the overnight hours, that rain will increase from northwest to south and east, and we are forecasting a fairly gloomy, wet, and cold Sunday across not just metro Atlanta, but much of north and even on into middle Georgia. So back half of the weekend is looking wetter, is looking just as chilly as today. And we'll take you to that live cam full. Already noticing some changes out there. The clouds earlier today were a little bit higher up, but now they're starting to lower a bit with the buildings in Midtown. So far, still showing loud and proud there, but I think here over the next little bit, we're going to notice more and more of those floors being obscured by the clouds, and eventually clouds get low enough to start producing some drizzle, and we will probably have some rain back in the first alert forecast here before too long. In fact, already tracking it as far as the more substantial rain on first alert radar right now. Again, we're going to switch. Let's see what's going on here. Switching back over to sweeping radar. This is a more sensitive mode to give you a clearer picture of where the rain is. And you'll notice here over the past couple of hours, we've seen rain building into extreme northwest Georgia, East Tennessee, the Chattanooga area, down in Gadsden rather, between Birmingham and up 59 up into Huntsville, Alabama, and the Coleman area. Rain is moving through, and this is continuing to push off to the south and to the east. Now, we'll probably see some drizzle develop out ahead of this, but if you're wondering about a timeline for this more substantial kind of band of rain as it continues to move off to the south and southeast into Atlanta by 10 p.m. if it holds together, the first few showers probably, though I do think it will weaken a bit. Canton 8:30, maybe 8:45 or so. Cartersville 8:15. Rome, Chattooga, and Floyd counties the first to be impacted by some wetter weather. Keep in mind, rain will probably weaken a bit as it gets into far northwest Georgia and in portions of metro Atlanta. Kind of a bit of a broken line of rain moving through, rather that solid blob of wet weather you see right now up across extreme northeast and eastern Alabama. Hey, I want to remind you we are streaming in several places right now, a couple of which you can access whether you have Roku and Amazon Fire Stick or not, and that's going to be on social media. We're live on the Atlanta News First Facebook page. Hello to you, Anne Marie and Stephanie Barnes. Waving back at you all. Thank you for watching. Also, we're live on YouTube right now. And Suze Bell, hello to you. You're very welcome for the heads up. Again, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, my name is Cutter Martin, a meteorologist here at Atlanta News First, and I'm here to keep you updated. And we'll talk about the forecast as it relates to tonight, this evening. Some of the showers starting to move in, or at least approach North Georgia, and also tomorrow, certainly looking like a wetter day across North Georgia, including metro Atlanta. So today was gloomy, it was chilly, we had a spritz or two, just a couple sprinkles, but now those clouds, as I take the Skycam full, they're starting to lower a bit, not too long before the King and Spalding building and other buildings there in Midtown Atlanta start to be covered up by the clouds as they lower, and then we get some drizzle, and there's the estimated ETA of the first kind of broken band by the time it gets to metro Atlanta, but the first broken band of more substantial rain, the kind of rain that'll make some puddles out there, and we're still a couple hours out from that, but overnight tonight, definitely going to get a little bit wetter out there, and looking like tomorrow is going to be pretty much a washout. Here is that hour-by-hour forecast. And notice how we have the clouds now. Forecast model doing a decent job depicting where the rain is, and that's into East Tennessee and extreme northeast Alabama. Temperatures low to mid-50s right now, and we really don't cool all that much overnight tonight, with numbers back in the upper 40s and lower 50s out the door tomorrow morning with some of these showers around. Look at all that rain up in Dalton, Rome, Blairsville, Bartow County, Cherokee County tomorrow morning, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, if you have an early trek or a trip up 85, 985 into Hall County and Forsyth County near Lake Lanier, you're going to be waking up to wet weather and temperatures in the 40s Sunday morning. But do notice that at least on this particular forecast model, and this is just one of the tools in our tool belt, it keeps us relatively dry. There'll probably still some drizzle along the I-20 corridor, including Metro Atlanta through, as the clock shows you, 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. But watch what happens as we go deeper into the day. Rain will continue to build off to the south and southeast, in fact, kind of redeveloping there to the west of Atlanta. And here we are, 8 p.m. Sunday. And we will have already seen some rain in Atlanta, and it's still drizzling. It's still raining in Griffin, still raining in Covington, Athens, according to this particular forecast model. Others are a little bit earlier with the arrival of the steadiest rain in Atlanta. This model waiting a little bit later in the day. Nonetheless, story is the same. Pretty much everybody will at least see a little bit of rain tomorrow. It's about the timing of the most substantial rain and when you, your plans, your neighborhood are impacted by the most rain. And I think the rain chance will be greatest mid-morning to about mid-afternoon on our Sunday. That's when we're going to see the most rain on first alert radar, and that's probably the best time to, if you are out and about especially, to have the Atlanta News First Alert Weather app. Again, all you have to do is search First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store, or just scan the QR code on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com, or there's a page with a download link, the Google Play Store, also iOS, the App Store, and if you're watching us on TV, maybe a traditional broadcast, you can scan that QR code. It's always in our banners, upper right-hand corner of the screen, and that'll prompt the download page to come up, and you can get the app, and it's a really good tool if you're on the go. Not only can you watch the actual newscast straight from the app if you're away from the TV, but you can also be alerted to rain and snow, any other type of precipitation approaching your plans and where you are. Also get the hour-by-hour forecast, any severe weather alerts, though that not a particular concern overnight tonight into tomorrow. Checking back on comments here. Let's see. Okay, so Kay on YouTube is saying, thanks for letting us know just what we want to hear. I think we've had enough rain. I think we have too. I mean, it has been very, very wet here for the past week or so, and the fact that it's so late in the season, late fall, almost early winter officially. The sun angle is low. The temperatures are cool. Moisture is not evaporating that much, so we have a lot of mud out there, a lot of standing water in the fields after these, every few days sort of rains. And the first alert forecast, and unfortunately, if you're not a fan, we do have more on the way into our Sunday, and then we'll get another few days break, and then we actually have more rain on the way as we get into our Wednesday and Thursday, and then maybe another few days break, and then we'll be back into that as we get into the early portion of not this coming week, but the week after. So computer's being a little slow here, but we're loading up a new graphic, going to show you the drought monitor. If it loads up here. Hello there on YouTube. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're watching on Facebook, again, computer is lagging on me here. Hopefully it loads up quickly. We're kind of stuck on that. What you're looking at right now is forecast radar for tomorrow evening, Sunday evening at 8 p.m. With temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s, rain will be widespread tomorrow. I think wettest earlier in the day, Dalton, Rome, Canton, Blairsville, Gainesville, Clayton, and then kind of a midday between mid to late morning, mid to late afternoon, sort of peak chance in the wet weather I-20 corridor. That includes Carrollton, that includes Atlanta, Weedawee, Alabama, that's Cleburne and Randolph counties, and then LaGrange, Griffin, Covington, maybe just a little bit later in the day. Let's go ahead and pull up Facebook now, answer the questions as they come in, and while our computer is loading up here. And again, I'm Cutter Martin, meteorologist here at Atlanta News First. Thank you for tuning in. Nina Duck is watching from Forsyth, Georgia. Nina down in Forsyth, I'm sure you're noticing those clouds getting a little lower, kind of reflecting some of the street lights out there, the light from the town, and pretty soon you too, even on the south side, will have some rain and some drizzle to be talking about. Ryan Laird saying, hey there, bud, hope you have I had a good day, and I hope you did as well. I certainly did. Again, thank you for the kind words, and I hope you get the first alert forecast. Someone asking about tomorrow is snow. No snow tomorrow. Sub tomorrow. Sorry if I can't pronounce here. It's hard to read that YouTube handle there. Again, chatting with folks on YouTube. No wintry weather tomorrow, just a chilly rain in the first alert forecast, but we do have much colder weather on the way as we get into portions of this coming weekend and on into next week. So certainly some weather to talk about here. Computer, apparently so much weather that the computer that we used to show you the forecast is having some trouble. And we're stuck on that forecast model for tomorrow, so just bear with me. And again, hopefully to get that loaded up here. Let's see if I can just load that back up. Bear with me, folks. Do apologize. We're going to get that. Basically, it's just the weather graphics that are having some problems. We're going to get that loaded back up here shortly. In the meantime, let's take a live look outside. We're taking a look across the connector from the Atlantic. So Atlantic Station area, looking back to the south and east across the connector. And even in the time that we've been chatting here, you may have noticed that those clouds are getting lower and lower, kind of starting to cover up some of the tallest buildings in Midtown Atlanta. And those clouds will continue to lower, and I think the chance of drizzle will start increasing here over the next couple of hours. Not the kind of rain that really impacts your evening plans, but the kind that you feel as you walk out the door. Maybe you use the wipers on the lowest speed, off and on every so often if you get on the highway, but nothing that really ruins the evening plans. Now, as we get into late tonight, or later this evening, and then overnight tonight into our Sunday morning, that is when the chance of more meaningful rain, or puddle-making rains, will be back in the first alert forecast. So it does appear that our weather graphics are starting to slowly come back here, so just bear with me and I'll pull them right back up here in just a few moments. If you're just tuning in, I'm Cutter Martin, a meteorologist here at Atlanta News First. Thanks for checking this digital stream of the First Alert Forecast. Our early newscast, 6 p.m., normally airs on Saturday, was preempted by sports, so just wanted to make sure that we were still checking in, still giving you the First Alert Forecast if you have the Atlanta News First Alert weather app, or even the Atlanta News First app or news app. Also, a good place to check the forecast, AtlantaNewsFirst.com. If you're just sitting on the desktop, maybe some of that Christmas shopping, and certainly a good tool there, and another way that you can check out the forecast. In fact, basically, we have that forecast for you in app form. Now that I have the weather computer loading back up properly, we'll take that back to you. Again, all you have to do is scan that QR code upper right-hand corner of the screen, or search First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store, and notice how through the overnight hours, we really are having some problems here. Not getting all the data into our weather computer, and it was behaving fine earlier, so we're going to have to figure out what's going on there. But this radar data is just a few minutes old, fairly recent, and here's the gist. This rain will continue to move off to the south and to the southeast. Going to go ahead and put a tracker on this and give you the idea that by mid-evening or so, some of this more substantial rain will be building back into metro Atlanta, though I do think in a more broken form. Maybe 9:45 to 10. Some of this rain will start moving in, but again, really just a few hit or miss showers. I think that the bulk of the more substantial rain that kind of could impact the plans, that'll hold off until really overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And tomorrow does look like a much wetter day across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Ryan Laird, thanks for commenting. Yeah, you're all over it for sure. Have that First Alert Forecast. Glad you're keeping covered. And folks on YouTube, thank you for watching. Going to go ahead and we're going to have a visit, the weather computer and I, figure out what's going on here so we can give you the latest forecast. Again, we'll continue to send out an update. I'll have the extended forecast. It's actually already in there, the extended forecast. A closer look at tomorrow as well. A repeat of the hour by hour I showed you also is available now in the Atlanta News First Alert Weather app and at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Have yourself a wonderful evening. We'll catch you here in just a bit. 9 p.m. newscast. 10 o'clock hour as well, and some new data coming in by 11 p.m. So if there are any alterations to your Sunday forecast, I'll have that for you live on TV and in the app, streaming at AtlantaNewsFirst.com as well. We'll leave you with a live look of a beautiful, though increasingly gloomy Midtown Atlanta. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Saturday evening.